just want to make a little video here to go over some of the details on the Abu Garcia 6500 Chrome Rocket. I've had this reel for about 6 years, almost 6 years, and it has worked flawlessly. I've had one issue with, or actually two issues with worm gears. Two of the worm gears, I think sand got to them and messed them up because I was using it on the coast for a little while, but I can't say that for sure. I know one of them, I think sand got to it, but the other one, it kind of looked like it got scratched a long ways, like right across. I don't know how that would have happened, but weirdest thing ever. Almost looks like this one has a little bit. Huh. Yeah, I don't know unless sand is doing it. But just an absolutely fantastic reel. One neat little thing about this reel is the fact that, well, it's all chrome for one thing, the whole frame, the side plates, everything is brass. So it's substantially heavier than your average Abu Garcia 6500, which is mostly all aluminum. This reel actually weighs 16.4 ounces or 465 grams. 5:3:1 gear ratio, comes with 3 bearings. Retrieval rate's 25.5 inches, and it has 15 pounds of drag. And it holds a standard amount of line, 30-pound braid, 310 yards, 14-pound mono, 275 yards. I've got 65-pound braid. Wait, no, this is 50, sorry. But if you put 65 on there, you'll get exactly, I think 150 yard spool will fill it up. A Power Pro, 65-pound Power Pro. This is Daiwa J braid, 50-pound Daiwa J braid. And I have well over, probably almost 300 yards on this, I think, of 50-pound J braid. And that's awesome stuff. I really like using that. It's really smooth. That's the, what do they call it? Something 8, kind of like the higher end J braid, but it's very smooth, very round, really good stuff. This reel, it's an international model, so the reel foot is cut for rod clamps. You know, a lot of the UK casters, they're using those little clamps. I forget what they call them, but basically it's just almost like a hose clamp that clamps the reel to the rod. This reel, I've upgraded it substantially. As you can see here, I have an extra handle. This is beautiful. Actually a lot of fun to use if you're running lures or something, but I got some sand in it and kind of quit using it on the surf because when the sand got underneath that, it was just almost shutting it down, keeping these from spinning nice and smoothly. To where this one, you know, power handle, nothing really seems to affect it as far as sand goes. I have taken, like I said, this reel only comes with 3 bearings. So you basically get the 2 spool bearings and you get the instant anti-reverse bearing, and that's all you get. So I actually put, I think it's ABEC 5 bearings in the worm gear. It has double bearing worm gear. Also the cog wheel, the little plastic cog wheel in here that turns the worm gear. It has double or dual bearings in it. ABEC 5 also. And then the spool is actually running on, those are Boca bearings. Those are ABEC 7, the orange sealed ones, and I removed the seals to give it that bit more speed. So it is as fast as you could ever want it to be, as far as, you know, I mean, it's outside of my realm of being able to control it without having, you know, at least 2 brake blocks engaged and maybe just a little bit of side tension depending on wind conditions. But my maximum casting range with this so far has been 135 yards, which is pretty good. I mean, there's not a whole lot of even surf fishing that you can't reach what you want to reach within 135 yards. Yeah, it's a fabulous reel. It's excellent for saltwater environment because of the chrome finish. Good clicker, you know, like most Abus. Nice and loud. I like being able to center the spool on the Rocket series. You know, it has the float inside and you just center your spool up and you can still keep a little bit of tap in there from side to side. Oh, another unique thing about this reel too, I noticed after I took it apart, right after I purchased it, I took it apart, cleaned it, and lubed it as it should be. And I noticed, well, this is this brake plate on this reel is made out of brass, and it's chromed just like the rest of the frame. That's where a lot of that weight comes from. You'll see some of these that have, it'll be a chrome frame, a brass chrome frame, but the brake plate is aluminum. It'll be a slightly different color there. And, but anyway, this one actually had the stud inside of it that the anti-reverse dog would go on, which it has instant anti-reverse anyway, like most of the modern reels. But, you know, I thought, wow, that's something that they didn't put the anti-reverse dog on the stud. They got the stud but no anti-reverse dog. And, you know, I was looking at the schematics just to make sure. Well, maybe the factory forgot to put it in there, but it's not. The stud is on the schematic sheet right there on the brake plate, but it does not have the anti-reverse dog anywhere in here. So anyway, I ordered one of those for like $3 and put it in there just for backup anti-reverse. I like having that, even if it's not necessary. It's just an extra form of security should your instant anti-reverse fail for any reason. But yeah, these are so easy to get into. You know, that one thing I like about, you know, I don't know about the new Rockets actually, but this one has thumb screws, and it makes it so easy if you're fishing and you need to adjust the brakes depending on wind conditions or something. So you can just jump right in there, get to your brake blocks here. I think we got 4 on right now. It was real windy the last time I was fishing. You can see right there the dual bearings on the worm gear. There's one of the bearings at the end. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the bearings floating in the spool down there. That's those Abec, I think it's Abec 7. I was thinking it might be 9, but no, I don't think so. I think it's just Abec 7, orange sealed. And those things are amazing. The Boca bearings, wow. And I mean, just the quality of this reel is just incredible. I mean, wow. Abu really went over the top on these. The super smooth, unbelievably smooth. There's more I could do to this reel, but it's pointless. You know, as far as customization goes, it's just pointless. I mean, it's pretty much out of control now as far as speed goes. So I'm not really worried about that, doing anything else to it. I do like having the dual bearing line guide, or the dual bearing worm gear, because it's substantially smoother with that in there. And then also the cog, you know, it's just, you don't have the noise that you have with the non-bearing cogs, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's just, but I mean, the smoothness is incredible. needs cleaned. It would be even smoother than that. The drag is amazing. This is, you know, these come with a carbon drag nowadays. The Abus do. And I think you get three carbon washers. And of course, I always take mine apart and just give them a very, very light coat of cow's drag grease. And that makes a huge difference in how smooth the drag is. And plus, what I like about the cow's drag grease, you don't get all that carbon dust. You know, when you get a good run, you will get carbon dust flying around in there, and it gets in everything if you don't have that little light coat of grease. And it seems like it increases the drag power if you put a very thin coat of grease. I have gone a little overboard before and put more cow's drag grease than necessary, and I noticed that my drag pressure went down. It was smooth, but it was substantially less than it could have been, and I could not tighten it down enough. So that's when I learned to just put a very thin film of drag grease on there, just enough to keep carbon dust down and keep things smooth from locking up on each other, and at the same time, you know, not enough to basically make it so the drag doesn't function at all. But yeah, and then when I run braid, I always take a little bit of electric tape and run, you know, at least one round of electric tape around the spool before I spool it with braid, just keeping the line from slipping. Other than that, yeah, it's, I mean, these, they're still available. I know, you know, at the time this video was uploaded, they're still available through Catfish Connection, I think, or Bottom Dwellers, Catfish Connection or Bottom Dwellers. They actually have these for $2.39. And that's actually a pretty good price now, because you're not going to find them anywhere else. You know, you find them on eBay, they're selling for $250, $300, depending on what people's done to them. Most people, when they get these reels, just like I did, they customize them. And so it adds a lot of value to the reel. So yeah, you can still get them for $2.39, I think. When I got this one 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, it was marked at $200 in the case, and I got it for, I think, $189. I think the guy marked it down to $189 for me. So, and I was glad he did. I was glad to get it. I mean, this is you know, this reel was a piece of Abu history. I mean, this is a beautiful top shelf reel, and they only come along every once in a while, sort of like the record reels, you know, the RCN models that I think they released in 2014. Those were absolutely amazing reels, and I remember when Abu was liquidating them at $112 a piece. I wish I could have bought every one of them they had, because now the prices, if you actually find one on the used market, the prices are ridiculous. And that's because they are amazing quality. They have a ton of bearings in them. You really can't do anything to one of the record reels to enhance anything about it. Abu thought of it all. So, and they have a 4:7:1 gear ratio, which is sort of unique to that reel. Makes it slower to retrieve, but at the same time, if you're, let's say you're throwing out 4-ounce leads into the surf or something like that, that 4:7:1 it'll really dig down and get your lead back without stripping the gears out. But this one right here has no problem with 4 ounces with a Sputnik. No problem at all. Just reeling the sinker back. As long as you get it up above the sand and whatever, it'll whip it right back in. I probably wouldn't go to 6, you know, just because I think may not do it to start with, but after a while it'd probably start destroying your gears. But that's just me, you know. I don't even know if that would do it. It just feels like it probably would. Well, yeah, I mean, 5-3-1 gear ratio, I've rolled, let's see, 15, 16-inch Pompano straight in with it, no problem. Just pick it up, and that's with, I think, 2 to 3 ounces of lead plus the Pompano, and just roll them straight in with it, no problem. So, very capable reels. I love Abu Garcia Ambassador Series reels. It's one of the few things you can still get nowadays that's actually worth the money. Super high quality, not made in China. Just amazing reels. I know their C4 series is one of the ones that I really like now too. I mean, they still put a lot of effort into the C4 series, and they're worth every penny. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it kind of, you know, if you're looking at this reel, thinking about getting it, I would definitely just go ahead and get it, because they're not going to be available much longer. Like I said, I think the only stock I've seen anywhere is Catfish Connection or Bottom Dwellers. I'm pretty sure it's Catfish Connection, and that's $239 a piece. Otherwise, it's just going to be another Abu Garcia that ends up in everyone's collections, and you never see them again. Every once in a while, you might see one pop up on eBay for a ridiculous sum, and that'll be it. So, yeah, if you get a chance, and you really like Abu Garcia, I'd go ahead and get one. Thanks for watching.